Let's first of all talk about some issues relating to due diligence in connection with conveyancing transactions. So here we're looking at the transaction from the perspective of the buyer, obviously, and with regard to due diligence, I think it's important to identify client objective. I had a meeting just recently with insurance brokers, the biggest insurance broker of legal practices in the country, to be honest with you, and we were discussing claims and discussing all sorts of different issues. And one of the things that they were highlighting, which is one of the things that I've seen, is that you've seen a shift in claims against solicitors and conveyancers relating to property transactions. In the good old days or bad old days, what you were seeing were procedural errors that were causing problems, lodging applications outside of priority, failure to properly investigate title, etc. These days, what you're seeing are claims arising as a consequence of sort of poor communication or an inability to personalize data and information for the benefit of the client. We're so fortunate in that we've got resources now that can assist us in connection with producing reports on title and products like John's product that can highlight issues relating to title, that what we should be doing is spending the time that in the past we were utilizing to concentrate on those areas to ensure that what we're doing is making sure that we're transmitting information to clients in a format that the client can understand, to make sure that we're getting the message to clients and that we've got clients indicating to us that they've got the message. One of the things, as I say, talking to insurers, is that it's imperative that where we are sending a report on title, where we're scoping the retainer, where we're onboarding the client with regard to an engagement email or letter, that we're getting the client to confirm that they've received this documentation and that they've understood it. The next issue concerns the availability of searches. I'm now firmly of the view that we should be telling clients about the availability of any search that potentially could be obtained in connection with target property. I don't think it's enough to tell the client that there are searches that are essential searches and then sort of picking from a list from our search provider as the searches that might be most appropriate given locality, given nature of transaction, given client objective. I think we can still do that, but what we should also be saying as a sort of default is here's a list of the other searches that are available that we could undertake for you in connection with your purchase. Now, I hear automatically groans, and I've spoken to practitioners about this, and I can understand why there are groans. If I'm saying to my client, look, there's a choice of additional searches that we can undertake, are we not just sort of lining ourselves up for more work and more problems on the basis that the client asks us about what an infrastructure search is or what a planning search is, etc., etc. I get all of that. But what I would say is that I think it's important that clients are aware that there are other searches that can be undertaken. I'm going to touch on climate change searches or climate change reports before we finish, but there's a prime example of making sure clients are aware that we can obtain such a report for the client and to explain to the client that it may be of use. That doesn't eradicate the need for us to highlight searches that we think are essential given the transaction or given the locality, mining searches in mining areas, etc. But I do think clients need to understand the availability of other searches that may be of use or interest. Where we're ascertaining client objective, hopefully the need to explain to the clients other searches that are available is to an extent reduced on the basis that if we know what the client or the purpose for which the purchase relates, we might be able to indicate searches that might be appropriate to that purpose.